Yes, this is exactly what I was looking for.
To India now, where police are on a drive to detain and deport Bangladeshi immigrants following a government directive.
No, it's not just Bangladeshi immigrants. They are specifically targeting all Bengalis. And we'll get to how they're just targeting Bengalis in general, because surprise, surprise, Bengali, the Bengali language is not a monolith. And there are different dialects of Bengali. There are different dialect groups of Bengali. And one of them, which will become super important, is very similarly named Bengali. Not Bengali, but Bengali.
But activists say those being detained are mostly Indians who speak Bengali, who are also often Muslim. This is leading to an exodus.
Not just Muslim, Dalit people too. Dalit Bengalis also speak the same dialect. They speak generally the same exact kind of Bengali that Muslim Bengalis speak, which is that Bengali dialect that I mentioned earlier.
Of Bengali-speaking Indian workers from urban centers. Many of them are fleeing home to their families in the states of Assam and West Bengal. The city of Gurugram, which borders New Delhi, is
It's Gurgaon, not Gurugram.
seeing the consequences of this
Gurgaon.
exodus of sanitation and domestic workers who keep the city functional. DW special correspondent Nimisha Jaiswal reports from Gurugram.
This is my father, my mother, and that's me.
Moifadul Islam doesn't have much, but he has his documents. He's been through a verification before, and his family is listed on a citizen register in his home state of Assam. Yet, 2 weeks ago, police picked him up from where he lives in this slum in the middle of the night.
I didn't get to ask any questions. They didn't let us talk. They didn't even ask us if we had our IDs or not. They just arrested us. What can we do? And then they threatened us and scared us.
The tech and finance city of Gurugram depends on the labor of migrants like Moifadul. Recently, police have reportedly detained hundreds like him and Akhtaru Sheikh on suspicion of being Bangladeshi.
They made me strip to my underwear. They said they'll just look at my documents and let me go. I showed them so many papers, even documents from my grandfather's grandfather. They said, no, you're Bangladeshi. You've forged these.
Both men say they were held for a week.
The police here did not want to speak to us on camera, but they did say that they have been detaining only suspected Bangladeshis.
They've been trying to arrest Bengalis in general.
And that any Indians with legitimate documents have nothing to fear. They denied anybody was held for more than 3 or 4 days, and they said nobody was ill-treated. They also claimed that they did identify Bangladeshis who they
also not yes to answer your question, Hussein. Yes, they consider Rohingyas as also illegal Bangladeshi immigrants. Yes, any Bengali person who is Muslim. Yes. No, as we'll see, they're not just targeting Bengali Muslims. The criteria that they're saying is if you speak the vernacular that is generally spoken in Bangladesh, which is that Bengali like dialect, right? That Bengali vernacular, then you are considered Bangladeshi because Indian Bengalis don't speak that Bengali vernacular or whatever. They tried to manually separate Sylheti from Bengali, which, by the way, that's a decision that Sylhetis need to make. That's not a thing for the Indian government to say.
now deport, and that this verification drive will continue.
Mukul Sheikh has spent the last weeks visiting scared family members of those detained and trying to reassure those who have just been released. He rejects the police narrative and says in the 25 years he's lived here since leaving West Bengal, he's never seen anything like this.
Is it a crime to be a Muslim and a Bengali speaker? Why are they only questioning the poor? There are well-off people from West Bengal.
Do you also see how the burden of proof that you are a citizen is on you after you get picked up by the cops and not the other way around? And most of these people can't afford a meal, let alone lawyers. Exactly. These people are being captured by the Indian government. They're literally being tortured by the Indian government in an attempt to basically displace them away from Assam and West Bengal. This is an ethnic cleansing campaign that the Indian government is engaging in against Bengali Muslims.
Bengal too. Why don't they raid their homes and arrest them?
Is this Indian ICE? The Indian cops are Indian ICE, yes.
The educated can defend themselves, so they won't question them. They'll only target the poor.
Most domestic, sanitation, and daily wage workers
Did this happen before Modi? No, it didn't, man. No, it didn't.
in the city are Bengali-speaking migrants. Since the detentions began, many have fled in fear. leaving the city sitting in its own trash.
Will the educated do their own dirty work?
God, we're so. Do we import all our domestic policies from the US too? No, this is implementation of CAA NRC. This predates the ICE detentions of like this year. This is just CAA NRC.
Or clean houses.
Be right
Now,
back.
as all the workers leave, people will find out what happens in a week's time when all the trash piles up.
Both Moifuddin and Akhtaru will remain. There's no work at home to provide for their families, so they stay, even at the risk of being detained again.
I feel really sad. I was born here, and they call me Bangladeshi. They picked up a Hindu man in front of me, saw his name and let him go. They told him to go on his way, but when they heard my Muslim name, they detained me.
Akhtaru says he grew up alongside Hindus hearing their hymns. He sometimes sings them outside temples to earn tips. He says Indians are brothers and should not allow the authorities to divide them.
We can now speak to Supanta Sinha. He is a Supreme Court advocate and a human rights activist, and he joins us from Delhi. Welcome to DW. Can you explain to us why Bengali Muslims are being targeted?
The thing that's about Indian Muslims is that they're forced to be patriotic towards a country that despises them, that despises their very existence. Indian Muslims are forced to be patriotic towards a country that is that wants to erase them off the map. It is an instinct for survival. They have to. They have no choice. They do not have any other choice other than to be patriotic towards this country.
In this way?
See, as per my understanding of this entire situation, I find it to be an identity-targeted detention. So it is completely being done in a very political manner in order to politicize this issue. So if you ask me for a specific reason, even we have not received any clear reasons from the government. Even government is very vague as to why such targeted detentions are happening.
We've also seen in the report that people have been saying that they even have the right documents, and yet they're still being detained. So how exactly are police going about identifying these people?
Yeah, that's the most problematic scenario. So in India, we don't have a concept of citizenship certificate. So in case a person has all the government IDs, which in India is voter ID, Aadhaar card, ration card, PAN card. So they are considered to be the citizens of India. And these are the people, at least the ones that I have interacted with, all of them have all these valid government IDs. Their names were on election, the voter list, and they have cast their vote as recently as the last election. Despite this, now police are detaining these individuals. Majority of them are migrant workers belonging from the working class segment of the society, under the pretext that they will be verifying their identity credentials and they'll be verifying whether they are the citizens of this country or not. And the most surprising thing is, even the police is failing to disclose any proper parameters on which, on the basis of which they are detaining.
Yes, because they are specifically trying to be vague so that they cannot be prosecuted on any particular ordinance. That's why they're being vague, so that it is harder to pin them down on anything.
It's completely on the whims and fancies of the police as it could be made out. Because every time somebody is asking them question, what are the parameters you are taking into consideration in order to identify a particular person, whether this person is a suspect or not, based on what parameters you are identifying them, even police does not have any cogent reason. They don't have any cogent answer. They are just referring to some MHA directive. But what that directive is, that is not on public record.
Well, there's already been quite a lot of criticism by rights groups about these detentions, but has there been any response from the Indian government?
No, the response from the Indian government so far, unfortunately, is very vague. there is no proper response, there is no proper address towards this specific issue.
One of the saddest things I've seen is the poor working class Muslims of West Bengal cheering on for the mass removal of Bangladeshis from their state, thinking that they'll not be targeted the same. They have to do that. It's the thing you don't understand, Anurag. They feel like that they have to do that.
And now we understand that you, in fact, visited one of the detention centers in Gurugram.
Like it's wrong for them to do that, but remember the kind of precarious situation that they're in. Like they're in a situation where if they don't because they're also Muslims in India. If they don't constantly try and prove their loyalty to India, India is going to target them. Bajrang Dal is going to target them. ABVP is going to target them. They're like, India is run by one wing of one of the most organized Nazi organizations on the planet. That's the thing people don't understand. India is currently run by the electoral party wing of one of the most organized Nazi organizations on the planet. Is West Bengal majority Hindu? Yes. West Bengal is majority Hindu. Yes.
What were the conditions there?
The conditions were not at all good. People were kept crammed up in a single hall. So it was a civil community center, which was...
RSS is old as well. RSS, Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, they were around for the original Nazis.
Turned into a detention center. And they were not calling that detention center. They were camouflaging that by calling it a holding center. But that was basically a place where these people were kept under detention for more than 24 hours. So in India, as per Indian law, if somebody is being detained, that person has to be produced before the magistrate within 24 hours. In this scenario, they were kept under detention for more than 24 hours without affording them the right to be represented by a lawyer of their choice or allowing them to contact their family members. And based on my interaction with the people who were earlier detained over there, they were saying that the conditions inside the detention centers are miserable, because even I was not allowed to go inside the detention center. So what I can say is based on what my interactions have been with those detainees. So they said that they were not being given proper hygienic food, or there was no proper hygiene facility in those detention centers. So yeah, overall the scenario, what I could gather was not very humane, was a bit pathetic.
That was Supanda Sinya, Supreme Court advocate and human rights activist. Many thanks indeed for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Oh, great. You guys have got concentration camps too? Drew, we've been having concentration camps. Mamata Banerjee. See now how Delhi police under the direct control of Ministry of Home, Government of India is describing Bengali as Bangladeshi language. Bengali, our mother tongue, the language of Rabindranath Tagore and Swami Vivekananda. Okay, those are not the best, but sure. The language in which our national anthem and the national song, this is correct, by the way, in case you forgot. The Indian national anthem and Vande Mataram are both Bengali. They're both Bengali, if I'm not mistaken. Jana Gana Mana is Bengali. The guy who wrote Bangladesh's national anthem and the guy who wrote the Indian national anthem are the same people. It's the same guy. The language in which crores of Indians speak and write, the language which is sanctified and recognized by the Constitution of India, is now being described as Bangladeshi language. Scandalous. Scandalous, insulting, anti-national, unconstitutional. This insults all Bengali-speaking people of India. They cannot use this kind of language which degrades and debases us all. We urge immediate, strongest possible protest from all against the anti-Bengali government of India who are using such anti-constitutional language to insult and humiliate the Bengali-speaking people of India. This is what Amit Malviya has to say. Mamata Banerjee's reaction to Delhi police referring to the language used by infiltrators as Bangladeshi, quote unquote, is not just misplaced, it is dangerously inflammatory. Nowhere in the Delhi police letter is Bangla or Bengali described as Bangladeshi language. Hold on a second. The identification documents contain text written in Bangladeshi language. It is requested that an official translator interpreter proficient in Bangladeshi national language. What is the national language of Bangladesh? Hey, Amit. Oh, look, official and national language, Bengali. What does Bangladesh mean? Literally means the land of the Bengalis. That's what Bangladesh means. Nowhere in the Delhi police letter is Bangla or Bengali as is described as a Bangladeshi letter. It is. It is. It is described. You are specifically saying Bangladeshi national language. Bangladeshi national language is Bengali. This is what cow drinking like Amit Malviya have to say about Bengalis. They have been racist towards Bengalis for a very long time. To claim otherwise and call upon Bengalis to rise against the center is deeply irresponsible. Mamata Banerjee should be held accountable, perhaps even under the National Security Act, for inciting linguistic conflict. Literally threatening the CM for what? The CM of West Bengal for what? Simply saying that the Delhi police is specifically trying to malign Bengali as quote-unquote Bangladeshi language, which is correct. She is correct here. Let me explain. Delhi police is absolutely right in referring to the language as Bangladeshi in the context of identifying infiltrators. The term is being used to describe a set of dialects, syntax, and speech patterns that are distinctly different from the Bangla spoken in India. The official language of Bangladesh is not only phonologically different, but also includes dialects like Sylheti that are nearly incomprehensible to Indian Bengalis. No. The official, this is literally, this is a lie. This is a lie. Amit Malviya is lying here. The official language of Bangladesh is standard Bengali. The official language, and we have Bangladeshis in this chat that can confirm, the exact same Bengali that is based in the Nadia district of West Bengal. Also, Sylheti is a separate language, not a dialect. That is not for us to talk about. That is not something for us to say or deny. That is for Sylhetis to say that. Some Sylhetis think, yes, they have a separate language, and we should respect that decision. That's it. Very simple. There is, in fact, no language called Bengali that neatly covers all these variants. Bengali denotes ethnicity, not linguistic uniformity. Okay. So then there's no such language called Hindi. Hindi is not a real language by this logic, by the way. There is no language called Hindi. When you apply Hindi to this, it actually makes sense when you say there's no language called Hindi. I'm correct when I say that. There is no such language called Hindi that applies to Bhojpuri or Awadhi or Brajbasha or Malvi or Marwari. Those languages are not Hindi. Those are different languages that the Indian government says are Hindi. So when the Delhi police uses Bangladeshi language, it is short for the linguistic markers used to profile illegal immigrants from Bangladesh, not a commentary on Bengali as spoken in West Bengal. Yeah, Amit malware. That's what this guy is. Amit malware. It is not. There are different dialects that you can pick out, but there are no hard lines. No. Okay, I didn't want to open this discussion, but listen, there are some Sylhetis that think they identify very differently than Bengalis. They say that they're Sylheti. They have their own script. They have their own thing going on. You should respect that decision. That's it. That's all I'm saying. It is also classist and casteist to deport people based on dialect. All dialects in India have a class element to them. Any standardized version of a language is spoken by the upper class, upper caste, highly educated population. Anybody in the out group is seen as an aberration. Yes. No Swati Moitra. No language called Bengali. Oh my God, poor Suniti Babu will be rolling in it. Where is the... Look at the audacity of this man. His statement is not only dangerous, but anti-national and anti-constitution. How dare you say there is no language called Bengali? Apologize or get out of Bengal.